But what people do not know about this, and while they're doing these type of things, what they are doing, they're creating stuff that they should not create. They're doing things and they're creating traditions. You know that's how traditions are created, right? By people doing them over and over and over and over and over and over again, and that don't make it right. Let's go to we're gonna go to Amos, the 5th chapter, verses 21 through 23, and when you get it, read. So what we're talking about today, verses 21 through 23, and what we're talking about is getting away from traditions and getting rid of them because they're no good.
I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beast. Take thine away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
So just like this here, what's the number one thing that you notice around this time of year? Soon after so-called Thanksgiving, what happens? What's the first thing you hear on the radio? Christmas music. Oh, you ain't in the Christmas spirit? No, I'm not in the Christmas spirit. Because that's not the spirit of Christ. That's not what the spirit of Christ is about. The spirit of Christ is about introducing you to the Almighty Father, the one who has everything in his hands. It's not about these things they do. People be saying, I ain't getting nothing for Christmas. I didn't get what I want for Christmas. That's all you hear. And these people set their children up for failure. We wonder why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Most of the people who celebrate Christmas are poor people. Rich people don't even get into these vain holidays and traditions. They the ones who benefit off of it. I said, Lord, I want to be in the percentile of the ones that's getting money on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, and Easter, and all these days, right? I don't want to be the one that's a fool that's running out and just spending. I know it's somewhere in the Bible where it said the merchants get rich off of these days. And people don't even realize this. Who get all the money on the holidays? The stores. Who benefit from the holiday? The stores. Do you know that the holidays, that's why they call hollow, because they ain't got nothing in them. They supposed to be holy days, but them are hollow days. They're empty. There's nothing in them. And we should not have nothing to do with them. Us that confess that we love God, us that we confess that we love Jesus, why would we celebrate certain things? Why would we get into that when the Bible tells you don't? No, I pointed something out to a person who said they love Jesus. Well, Jeremiah 10 chapter told you don't do with the Christmas tree. So what you going to explain to him when you meet him face to face about this? Oh man, well, my mama them did, but you come into the truth. See, a lot of people don't want to open their eyes to the truth because they don't want to put down them vain traditions, them vain holidays. They want to keep celebrating them. Let's go here into the scripture, into Galatians, the 4th chapter, verses 10 through 11. There's Galatians, the 4th chapter, verses 10 through 11.
Ye observe days and months, and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain.
Guess who this is talking? Guess who is talking here? This is Yahweh talking. So what did he say about that? Read that again. What did he say about that?
Ye observe days and months, and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain.
So what he's saying is that, see, you observing stuff that he ain't got nothing to do with. Nothing. Period. So do you think Yahweh got anything to do with the holidays that we celebrate? No, he doesn't. Why would he have something to do with it when he didn't sanctify it, when he didn't make it holy? And if you can show me in the Bible one place where it says something about Christmas, I ain't never seen it, never will. Can you show me in the Bible where it says something about celebrate Easter? No. So if it's not in there, how did they add this? So he said you can't add nothing to the word, and you can't take nothing away from the word. So a lot of people gonna get in trouble for these things. A lot of people know this, but guess what? They don't want to lose the crowd because they don't want to lose their tenure. They don't want to lose the money they're getting, so they don't want to express the truth. But I'm telling you the truth. Now you got to be the one to break the tradition and break the cycles. It's gonna make you like the oddball. Think about this. When Yah spoke to Abraham, this is what the I Am said to Abraham, right? He said, "Come from among your own people, your own kinsmen, your own country, and go to a place that I'll show you." Why would he say that? Because the people there, they were stargazers. They were worshipers of a many god. His daddy was an idol maker. So why would Yahweh want him there where he worshiping gods that's made by hand, something that you don't supposed to even do? So he pulled him away from that. We got to pull ourselves away and allow ourselves to be pulled away from traditions and all those types of things. But when we don't, what we will do, we'll end up being bound and wonder why we're bound. We're bound because we're doing traditional stuff that has nothing to do with the spirit of Yah, nothing to do with his son, or nothing. It has to do with what we feel like celebrating. I heard some people say, well, it's the only time the black family come together. Well, that's foolishness. Family should come together always. Should always be together. And you know how you're always together? Because you're praying. You're thinking alike. That's what fathers supposed to do. Fathers supposed to teach the children what they're supposed to do. Inspire them, instruct them. And the father is supposed to be the one who lives the thing before the children. And that's the most important thing now, that we get rid of this stuff. One thing about it, y'all can't say I never taught y'all none of these things. Nothing about no Christmas, nothing about no Easter, nothing about none of those things. See, I know for a fact what he did for me. After being shot 7 times, point blank range with a 12 gauge, after being in a wheelchair, I know what name I called on. I know when I was in that wheelchair and I did not like white people, he took a white man and laid hands on me, and that's how I got out the wheelchair. And I went to seeking after that power, right? And I had to break all the traditions. I grew up in a Baptist church, thought it was cool because I went to church. A lot of people think it's okay because they go to church or because they memorize some scriptures, right? No, it's not. This stuff got to be in your heart. Because if it's not in your heart, it's not going to do you no good. Jesus said, you serve me with your mouth, but your heart is far from me. Now let's go into this other scripture here, into Colossians 2:8-9.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
And the reason why he's saying this is because 90% of the stuff that we are doing is vain, is tradition, philosophies of men, what men think. Do you know that? So do we have it in it, or should we be doing it? Should we be following it? No, we shouldn't. But we do, though. We think it's okay because, see, that's just like it is. Well, they doing it, so it's okay. Lil Wayne started wearing skinny jeans, and next thing you know, everybody went to wearing skinny jeans and wearing braids and all this stuff to be like him, following the philosophy and tradition of a man. When Michael Jackson was running around with the little glitter on his glove, the one glove and jacket, everybody want to dress like Mike. Everybody want to have their hair like him. And we just follow. But we don't want to follow Christ like that. But we'll follow men. Well, I bet you can ask a person what their favorite rapper is, what their favorite singer, who is their favorite football player, what is their favorite team, right? They follow out the stuff, philosophy, and stuff that's out the men, the rudiments of men, traditions of men. Then they get mad at you if you say anything about God. Then you have all these people now. You have black people who don't believe in God. All that stuff didn't happen like that. A white man wrote the Bible. Well, let me tell you something. I can prove to you that the white man did not write the Bible. It was Hebrews that wrote the Bible. And these people, some of these people that wrote these scriptures were distant and apart from each other. So, and all the scriptures fit together. So that means it had to be one spirit dictating this to them. But see, we don't want to know these things because then we're going to be held accountable. Because if God was not so, if it wasn't no God, how would we know the difference between right and wrong? We're the only species of creation that knows this. But we choose to do what we want to because Yahweh has given us a free will. You can keep following those traditions. You can keep following those things, but it's void. It's non-effective. It has no power in it. What we need is the word of God to manifest in our lives, to change our lives for real. And first thing you have to do is get it in your heart. Not in your mind, but in your heart. And when it gets in your heart, it will transform your mind, give you a new way of thinking. We got to come out of the traditions. A lot of us do not understand. It's a lot of stuff that our forefathers worship that is actually demons and devils. Almost all of the holidays, if you follow them, you'll find out they are to worship Lucifer, the bright and morning star. There are a lot of things that we do has nothing to do with the Creator, but everything to do with fallen beings and fallen nature. We got to come out of that. Because over in Revelation, it tells us to come out of her, come out of Babylon, come out of her teaching, come out of her ways, unless you want to be a partaker of her wrath. We need to wake up for real and realize there's a real almighty holy creator, right? That's really trying to pull you toward him, pull you out of this rudiment of traditions and doctrines of men and vain philosophies and all those things. See, because Solomon, who was the wisest man in the world, said this, and Solomon had many wives, all the gold, all the things, and then he said all that was vanity and vexation of the spirit. And Solomon said one powerful thing: the whole duty of man, that's male or female, is to fear and obey the commandments of Yah.